The year was 2012. Minecraft was seeing its big boom in popularity, Gangnam Style was the hottest song of the year, and I was currently in middle school. Winter break was fast approaching, and I was in the school library reading Nintendo Power issue 287. It featured a new entry in 5th Cell's Scribblenauts series, Scribblenauts Unlimited. I was a fan of 5th Cell's games, having both Scribblenauts and Drawn to Life on the DS, so being interested, I continued to read more about it. Unbeknownst to me at the time, the game was releasing on a strange new console known as the Wii U. Excited for both the game and the console, grabbing my oversized quill and some papyrus, I wrote a big ol' letter to Santa Claus, shoved it in a jolly red envelope, and sent it away on a dove. All I had to do now was wait.
Hey guys, we're here at the Nintendo World Store for Nintendo's Wii U launch event.
Wii U! Wii U! Wii U! Everybody! Count with us. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nintendo World doors are officially open.
How would you describe the Wii U experience?
Just truly groundbreaking.
So yeah, the Wii U was an obvious flop. It's been said many times before. The console was confusing, with people mistaking the gamepad as an accessory for the Wii. It was hard to develop for, leading to a lack of third-party support, and it was underpowered compared to the Xbox One and PlayStation 4, which would only release a year later. I did get my Christmas wish and got a Wii U before anyone knew just how big of a flop the console would be. Some might even say I was on the naughty list that year for even getting a Wii U. Despite this, I actually really enjoyed the console, and I'm gonna tell you that, if you just ignore the numbers for a few minutes, this console was really something special. Dare I say, it even did some things better than Nintendo's current console, the Nintendo Switch. Now when you talk about any console, the most obvious thing to talk about is the games, and oh boy did the Wii U have like 30 of them. In all seriousness, the Wii U came with a pack-in game called Nintendo Land, and for a pack-in title, this game had a lot of content, more than Wii Sports even had to offer. It had 12 minigames based off Nintendo's popular franchises, divided into 3 categories: team, competitive, and solo attractions. Out of all the games featured in Nintendo Land, my 2 favorite ones were definitely The Legend of Zelda Battle Quest and Mario Chase. Donkey Kong's Crash Course, however, this one can burn in hell. Without getting too deep into Nintendo Land, it's given me a lot of entertainment, which for a pack-in title is really good in my book. It's hard to see the Wii U come with a game like this for free and then the Switch just doesn't. Well, it almost did. 1-2 Switch was meant to be a pack-in game, but then Nintendo decided that the operating system of the Switch was gonna be fun enough. Zombie U. If you're one of the poor saps who bought a Wii U at launch, you had this game as well. Besides, what else were you gonna play on your shiny new console, FIFA? Zombie U was developed by Ubisoft, and it was supposed to be the launch title for the hardcore Wii U gamers. While the game itself was alright and made great use of the Wii U gamepad, it didn't see the sales that Ubisoft hoped it would. They wouldn't touch the IP again until about 2015, where they ported Zombie U to other consoles, except they got rid of the U and just opted to call it Zombie. Needless to say, ports of the games were fine, I'm sure, but the whole gimmick of the Wii U gamepad is lost in translation. A similar issue arises with other Wii U exclusive games like Lego City Undercover and Rayman Legends. These exclusives had features which made the gamepad integral to the gameplay, and when these games got ported, these features, for better or for worse, had to be reworked or removed entirely. In situations like these, the Wii U still remains, in most cases, the definitive way to play these titles. The third-party support on the Wii U, while minimal, actually hosted some really fun and creative titles. Scribblenauts Unlimited was the reason I'd even heard of the console, and I can happily say this game was a blast, if not my most played. Other titles like Ninja Gaiden, Razor's Edge, Resident Evil Revelations, DuckTales Remastered, even incredible indies like SteamWorld Dig and freaking Shovel Knight really give the Switch a run for its money once you start to realize that a lot of these games got their start on the Wii U. Now the biggest edge that the Wii U undoubtedly has over the Switch is Nintendo's own support for their legacy titles. The Switch has been out for over 5 years now, and as of this video, we only have NES, SNES, and N64 and Genesis titles available to play on the Switch. The Wii U, mainly because of its own hardware, is the place to play Nintendo's classic library. Unless, you know, you'd like paying $2,300 for Mario 64. Yeah, the Wii U, just like the Switch, had NES, SNES, and N64 games, but Nintendo also offered GBA titles on the eShop, something that we have yet to see come to the Switch. Because of the Wii U's gamepad, Nintendo was actually able to offer DS games as well, since the gamepad can act like a standalone touchscreen. In addition to what was available on the eShop, if you had bought the Black Deluxe edition of the Wii U, which most people did, you also had the VWii, allowing full backwards compatibility of any Wii and WiiWare games you might have owned. I mean, like, you can't really shove a Wii disc in here. Since you could use a Wiimote on the Wii U, who would have thought, you can play every Wii game how it was intended, janky motion controls and all. And if you decided to go the, uncondoned route of emulation and game acquisition, the Wii U is really the best option for every Nintendo console before it, hands down. The tried and true homebrew launcher works here as well, including on the VWii, so anything you could do on an old modified Wii can be done here as well, and then some. Now obviously do these things at your own risk, but considering Nintendo doesn't really care for the console anymore, or, you know, their own legacy content, the floodgates are wide open with this one. Now the main attraction to any Nintendo console is the slew of first-party titles. Sorry to say, but nobody's buying a Wii U to play Black Ops 2. Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze, Bayonetta, Mario 3D World, Pikmin 3, Smash for Wii U, Mario Kart 8, the list goes on and on. Some of Nintendo's now popular franchises even got their start on this console, like the Mario Maker games and Splatoon. Perhaps one of the best games of the last few years, Breath of the Wild, is technically a Wii U title, since it was developed for and intended to release on the console before the Switch was even known about. Most of these titles did make their way to the Switch, with the exception of a few questionable ones, but owning a Wii U and then the Switch at launch actually felt a little dry, since most Switch owners with a Wii U had played a lot of these games already. The best-selling game on the Wii U, Mario Kart 8, was re-released as Mario Kart 8 Deluxe on the Switch in April of 2017, and is currently the best-selling game on the Switch as well. That's right, both the Switch's big launch title and best-selling game were both originally Wii U titles. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is much the same game as the original Wii U version, just including all the DLC and some quality-of-life changes. In a ton of cases like this, it made people who own both a Wii U and a Switch at launch wonder if double dipping for a freaking Rubik's Cube was worth it. Like, am I really gonna buy Tropical Freeze again for the new funky mode? The best quote-unquote ports of Wii U games to the Switch were the full-on sequels like Smash Ultimate, Splatoon 2, and Mario Maker 2, giving access to these franchises for people who missed out on the Wii U, but now loaded with new content and updates. Without the Wii U, we wouldn't have a ton of these amazing games, and then later, more enhanced and optimized re-releases of them for a new generation of gamers. So the Wii U had some pretty amazing games. Third-party titles that were there often were really fun to play. It was a nice home for indie greats like Shovel Knight, and it's a one-stop shop for all your retro library needs. The first-party titles were incredible too, most of which were so popular they got ported to the Switch, and are arguably some of the best games Nintendo has ever made. With a lineup like this, it's enough to sell me on a console. But what about the actual console itself? If the Wii U triumphs at anything compared to the Switch, it is 100% the personality of the console. First and foremost, the actual appearance of the Wii U's menus have that Nintendo charm to them. Nintendo has always made fairly unique OSs on their consoles, this time opting for a very skeuomorphic design. But the Wii U's menus definitely get across that message that, hey, this is like a Wii, but it's more enhanced and better. It had a very similar default layout to the Wii, with the disc locked to the top left of the menu and the Mii Maker right adjacent to it. The Wii U did away with the channels of the Wii, and its menu style actually shares more in common with the 3DS, where you just tap on one of these square icons to launch an app or game instantly. On the bottom of the Wii U's menu, you'd have all of your internet-y features like the eShop and the browser. Once again, a very similar design to the 3DS, only those icons were on top of the bottom screen. Nintendo would actually keep a very similar format going forward on the Switch with the placement of these icons. Speaking of the Switch, none of the menus on there have any music. Each and every corner of the Wii U has a track to it, even the system settings for crying out loud. But then you turn on a Switch and it's just silence. Sure, while the Wii U's music isn't as fondly remembered compared to the original Wii's music, it's a shame that the Switch doesn't have this level of charm. It is worth mentioning, but I really think I like the menus of the Wii U better than the Switch's. Everything was just so much more intuitive, and there was even a download manager on here, something the Switch desperately needs, since it can be confusing sometimes on what exactly is downloading and when. To the Switch's credit, however, everything on that console does feel more modern and up to par with what we're used to today. But with modernization comes the obvious addition of features, and in this case, the removal of features.
Everything you would want in a connected system, we have, so we're very excited.
Nintendo really doesn't like giving its user base freedom within online features. We're 5 years into the Switch's life, and there still isn't a web browser. That and Netflix and Amazon Video, which were available on the Wii U's launch, and other streaming services of today like Disney Plus, are just not on the Switch at all. Now, I'm not going to get too deep into this, as I'm sure there's a bunch of legal and contract reasons why, but the fact of the matter is the Wii U still had more online freedoms than the Switch does. The internet browser is the obvious and biggest loss here, but seeing as you can literally hack your Wii U by going to a website, I can see why Nintendo was hesitant to add one on the Switch. One feature I really kind of miss, and really can't avoid talking about, was Miiverse.
It's a great way to connect with your gaming friends.
Miiverse was Nintendo's shot at social media for the Wii U and later 3DS users. Growing up with the Wii U, I personally posted a lot to Miiverse, usually to advertise my Scribblenauts storefront or to post a funny screenshot from Smash Bros. Miiverse actually had integration in a ton of games, like Mario Maker, where you could see comments about specific spots and levels, or in Splatoon, where posts about Splatfest and cool drawings were everywhere. Posts would even show up on the Wii U's main menu in the Wara Wara Plaza, showing cool posts and drawings for popular applications. It even got its own Smash Bros. Stage, where messages rooting for specific characters fighting would pop into the background. Now, Miiverse isn't without its problems. At one point, things got so bad it forced Nintendo to create its own, penis detection filter. But Miiverse as a whole was such a bold move for Nintendo. Had they stuck with the idea, refined it, and upped some moderation, I feel that it could have felt right at home on the Switch. I could honestly go on for hours about the Wii U. For a console that flopped financially, it still holds a special place in my gaming career, as it was my main console for an extremely long time. The Wii U had a solid list of games, probably some of the best that Nintendo has ever put out. The console itself was fun to play on, letting users fully appreciate tons of legacy content, and the system itself was full of personality and that signature Nintendo charm. When you compare it to the Switch, I can't help but feel that the Wii U just simply did some things better. Now, is the Wii U overall a better console than the Switch? Honestly, with most of the Wii U's top games being on the Switch, and the fact that most of the online features don't even work anymore, I still think that the Switch, overall, is the superior console. But with that said, I think it's just wrong to say that the Wii U is a bad console in its entirety. Was it incredibly underpowered compared to the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One? Yeah, it was, but so was the Switch, especially when compared to the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. The Wii U, while it might not be the best of consoles, is one that, honestly, I enjoy a lot. Besides, Nintendo has made bigger mistakes in the past. Yeah, this thing sucks. Don't buy it. Ever. Thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, please leave a like and subscribe as it helps my channel grow. I'd like to continue to make more content about games and media that I personally enjoy and hopefully aren't covered to death on YouTube. So if you're interested in that, stop on by every once in a while, and thank you so much for watching.